Good evening. We're continuing our Psalm series, Tehilim. We already did 10 chapters, Baruch Hashem. We will continue today the 11th chapter. And this is a general Mizmor speaking a lot about ethics, Musar. When unlike the other ones speaking about different wars and different events, specific events, here we're going to translate directly the words of this Mizmor, the 11th one. Lamnatzeach leDavid be'Hashem chasiti. So every time, as we said in the past, Lamnatzeach leDavid, Lamnatzeach means conductor, is in charge of the orchestra. Be'Hashem chasiti. I hide under the wings of God, which means my trust is always in Him. איך תאמרו לנפשי נודי ארכם ציפור. How are you going to say to my soul, fly like a bird? Arches means reches. Reches means a chain of mountain. How are you going to say to my soul to fly like a bird on the mountain? כי הנה הרשעים, because the wicked people, ידרכון קשת. They preparing their bow and arrow. כוננו חיצם על יתר. They are aiming their targets. Today, it's missiles. Back then, it was bow and arrow, but the same idea. They preparing their arrows al yeter. What does it mean, yeter? Yeter means string. When you play guitar, you have strings. So when you have bone and arrow, that's the string of the bone. They just pull it. So they basically preparing their weapon, the wicked people, to attack the righteous people. Lirot bemo ofel leishre lev. To send them in a hidden way directly into their hearts. In other words, they're aiming to the hearts of the righteous people. You know, you can take it literally. We're talking about a war. Someone is aiming his missiles towards us like we have today, the Hamas, Hezbollah. But it can be the same thing as people in our everyday life. Could be your neighbor, could be a family relative, can be a partner, can be just an enemy in a business, can be your competitor. It can be so many different scenarios. How do they shoot you with a bow and arrow? You don't take it literally. Bow and arrow could be a word, one bad word. They call up and tell about you to some authority. The next thing, an investigation, you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, lawyers, arrest, this. This happens all the time. People tell about each other. In Israel, they made a hotline. If you call and tell about somebody that you know that is hiding and not paying tax, they'll give you 10% of how much they collect from him. They turn the people to hate each other. Look what dirty government we have, that they came up with this idea. They agreed to take more money from the people, not that they don't take, they already have 50% tax over there. But they agreed to take more, got them to turn brothers and sisters against each other. That's what happened. Not that the situation was better before, it was not good as it is. So much hatred, so much problems, so much lack of unity. That's all we needed now. Call now, give us a name, give us evidence, which means you hire a receptionist, she can be your death sentence. You hire an accountant, he could be your death sentence. Everyone is a suspect, everyone hates everyone. Now, if somebody gets caught, right away 50 names come through his mind. Who told about me? He hates all of them. He doesn't only hate one, because in his mind it could be him, it could be her, it could be him. This is our great government. Instead of making unity between the people, they rather make extra 2-3% income on the taxes per year, that the entire country will hate each other. What's going on here, And of course, those things have a chain reaction. Tomorrow he needs help, he can help him, and he doesn't help him because he suspects him. One day he comes in front of Hashem, and Hashem says, you could have saved him. He needed kidney transplant. You could have donated a kidney and save your brother. You can save your uncle. You can save. No, he's the one who told about me. And in the end, Hashem show you, it wasn't him, poor guy. He died because of this. And who was going to pay the price? The one who came up with that idea. Because remember, first of all, in the Torah, one of the worst sins is for a Jew to turn another Jew to the authorities. You should know that. It's really such a big sin that from a minute a person did it, he can no longer be a part of any minyan. No one is allowed to accept him. He comes to shul, you have to throw him out. He wants to put his children in yeshiva, you have to throw them out. He wants to marry his children, no one is allowed to marry them. He wants to go into partnership with another Jew, no one is allowed to go into partnership with him. He's basically in total isolation. It's called din moser. Not to talk about that he has no share to the world to come and all the problems that happened to that Jew that he turned in and everything that happened to him and his children and grandchildren. He has to pay for each one and one. What a stupid thing to do. For a little moment of revenge, which usually goes after an hour or two, the pleasure of the revenge. Unfortunately, it brings the wicked people, it brings them pleasure. When they see their enemy collapse because of their revenge. But I promise you one thing. In more than 90% of the cases, after the people see what happened to their enemies because of what they did, they eat their heart. They also suffer. If they're very, very evil and wicked, yeah, maybe they enjoy. But some people say, you know what? I wanted him to suffer a little bit. I didn't know it's going to be that bad. If I could turn the wheel back, I would prevent it. I would not do it. I didn't know things will get out of control. I didn't know his children will die because of it. I didn't know his kids will become addicts because of what happened to their father. I didn't think it can get that far. That's what they're going to say. What do you think? But it will be too late for them. You didn't think. You should have thought. You didn't think. Now you're paying the price. So it says the wicked people are preparing their arrows to shoot where? To the heart of the righteous people. Ki hashatot yeharesun. I want to remind you, all of you here speaks English. You don't speak Hebrew on a daily basis, that's for sure. But I want you to know that this Hebrew that I'm reading to you, it's a very old Hebrew. It's ancient Hebrew. There are many countries that they have two different languages. They have language for the streets, for every day, even sophisticated, but for every day. And they have a language for the books, like the Persians. There's Persian for the streets, and there's Persians for the book. Not every Persian who came to Israel understands the Persian of the books. I remember that they used to ask, what's this word? Nobody knew. What's this? Nobody knew. Why? It's sophisticated language. But if among the languages of the Goyim, which is man-made languages, it's like that, imagine in the language of God, this is all divine words. So if you ask today, 90% of the educated Israelis with degrees from universities, not stupid people, people that have education, they read books, they had many tests in their life, you ask them about the words of Tehilim, at least 50% of the words they won't understand. They have no idea what it is. Very hard to understand. Not only them, even big rabbis had some difficulties understanding some of the words. Not 50%, not even 5%, but it's enough that you have a 1/4% of the words. You have thousands of words here. It's enough. You don't understand 100 of them. That's already, it's not such an easy thing to, so there's on some words, the arguments, what they really mean. But here, we explain as much as we can. Obviously, we cannot explain 100% to the mind of King David, but if we do 95%, it's already a huge achievement, because like I said, those things are very deep and very divine. So he's talking here, Ki hashatot yaharesun. What does it mean, Ki hashatot yaharesun? It means the foundation of the Echal, of the Bet HaMikdash, Echal Kodsho, the Echal of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bashamayim Kis'o, his chair is in heaven, Enav Yechezu, his eyes are watching, Afafav Ivchanu Bnei Adam. Afafav, what's Afafayim? the eyelashes, that close on and off all the time. So David HaMelech, in a metaphoric way, he said, the wicked people prepare their missiles. We can say the same thing today. Hezbollah prepare missiles. Just yesterday, the Israeli Air Force attacked in Syria a huge shipment from Iran to Hezbollah. They don't rest a minute, these Nazi enemies. They don't rest a minute. Every day, every week, another shipment, and another 1,000 missiles, and another 500. And some of these missiles are size of a house. It's not little missiles. So yesterday they attacked their missiles and all kinds of advanced equipment that came from Russia. Russia. I gotta tell you something. Russians, they're not stupid people, Obviously, they're good in medicine, they're good in math, they're good in science. They're educated people. Not everyone, of course. It's foolish you have everywhere. But in general, it's overall, as a country, it's a country with lots of academic people. And in the world, everyone knows today that Israel is the number one when it comes to brains in advanced technology, manufacturing of weapons, spying equipment, state-of-the-art computer devices, all kinds of things like this. Everyone knows now the Israelis are the best of the best, better than Americans, Europeans, Russians, better than Japanese. But because of that, Israel is constantly exposed to thousands of spies that penetrating into Israel, going into these companies, and from inside copying all the secrets and sending it out. Same thing, it's called espionage, like business, like science. Everyone is spying on everyone. Everyone, Chinese over here and the Japanese over there and the Arabs and the Iranian. Everyone is spying everywhere. I have to assume that the Israelis are also spying on them, to be perfectly fair. One thing we do know, some of the secrets the Israeli invents, before it even comes out to the market, they steal it. They have people from inside. Now, why do I tell you this? Because the Russians, they are, in one way, in this situation, they are the luckiest one. Why? Well, for Arabs, it's very difficult to send spies to Israel. As soon as the Arab come to the airport, 50 eyes are on him. Everyone knows, here, an enemy just came, right? Americans and Russians, it's not such a big deal. But even if an American guy comes, once he stays longer than his visa, he raises red flags. Why is American wants to stay in Israel? He didn't apply for Aliyah. He's not staying here. Something is not right. They begin to watch him. By Russian, that's very, very bad. Why? Because there's a lot of these Jews that came from Russia, they don't have anything to do with Judaism. It's not that they are patriotic for the Israeli state or for Judaism. They don't care about Israel. The government offered them $15,000 for everyone who would immigrate to Israel, because the government wanted to bring people that they have a non-Jewish ideologies to overcome the religious people in Israel. You don't understand the Israeli politics. Israel saw that there are so many Baalei Tshuva in Israel. Hundreds of thousands of people became religious, and that the religious people now went up to 20 seats in the Knesset. 20 out of 120, their government already saw it. In 20 years, the religious people will be half of the Knesset. They can take over the government. So they imported 1 million Russians to Israel, which the Russians that came to Israel themselves admit that 80% of them are not even Jewish. Either they married to Jewish, or they quarter Jewish, or they're nothing to do with Judaism. They smuggled in. So they took the money. $15,000 is a lot of money for a Russian person who came from a poor area. They live in Israel. They struggle. It's hard to move to a new country. But many of them are automatically was sent by the Russian government to be spies. Doctors, professors, computer people. They come as they made Aliyah to Israel. They get hired in a place, and they have a boss there in Moscow who gives them information to what system to go, what to copy, install this worm inside the computer. That's what they do. So they basically know everything inside Israel. I won't be surprised if some of the people that sit in the Israeli Knesset are Russian spies. And I won't be surprised at all. There won't be even 1% surprise to me. That's, you may wonder, Israel had a spy in Syria, Eli Cohen. He already became one of the top 5 politicians in Syria. Another few years, he could have been the president of Syria already. But he got caught and they hung him. But another few years, he was so popular and he went to the top of Syria. You have no idea. They used to say that Ahmadinejad is a Mossad agent. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say here from all this salad, you don't know who is who. The sweet neighbor who comes out, or the old lady, she walks with a cane, you don't know who she is. Maybe she's a nuclear scientist. She sits over here, she pretends she buy milk and dairy, and she go, but once a month they take her to somewhere, they show her, you don't know. You don't know. Somebody you feed, you give them food for Shabbat, next thing you find one day they're spies, they're sending information to Iran. You don't know. It could be among Persian Jews. It's big money, what do you think? If somebody is a professor or something, they tell them, listen, how much it would cost us for you in your job to send us secret? 10 million is going to do it or no? What does he make in Israel as a professor? $2,000 a month? Struggle, people disrespect him. Russian immigrant. In Russia was a big professor, 5,000 students standing online to talk to him. He came made Aliyah to Israel. They treat him like garbage, excuse my language. They tell him, go clean the streets. Professors like you, every other Israeli here is like you. We don't need. Go clean. What do you want? There's no jobs. But I'm a big mathematician. In Russia, it's good for you to be a mathematician. Over here, we have plenty of Jewish brains. You're nothing special. Go. You want to be a teacher for kindergarten, for elementary school? $1,500 a month. One day he gets a call from Moscow. We understand that, you have over there access to such and such. You give us information, or even a scientist who works inside the biggest secrets. How much he make? $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month? They don't pay high salary. It's not America over there. The highest a president makes in Israel, 100,000 shekel a month, which is $25,000. Like a big president of the big, huge companies that are worth billions. How much they make? It's not like in America, he make $100,000 a month. So therefore, the temptation is huge. If a person is not decent, and he's not a patriotic, he doesn't care about Jews, the future of the Jewish people, the future of the state of Israel, what does he care? Even though he's a Jew. Does he know anything from Judaism? Does he know one holiday? Does he even eat kosher? Is he married to a Jew? None of it. So why does he care to sell Russia some secrets for $10 million? Do you understand what's going on here? They just caught one American in Israel yesterday that prepared terrorism attack against Muslims. If they wouldn't catch him, next thing you find out, he blew up the Al-Aqsa Mosque. He had targets already. American guy, American Christian, went to Israel. He stayed in Israel already more than a year. How did they catch him? They started to see what an American non-Jewish doing in Israel for so long. They begin to see, and they found out. They checked about him. Next thing they found that he prepares an attack. Imagine what would happen now. He would go, shoot the missiles on the Al-Aqsa Mosque, kill about 200-300 Arabs, blow up the gold mosque. The next thing, 2 billion Arabs come to Israel, and the Gog Magog begin. That's all you need, one lunatic. You don't need more than that. Anybody would ever believe that it's an American Christian made it? Of course they'll blame Israel. The situation in the world is so delicate that all you need is one crazy person to destroy the world. That's it. One crazy person. Imagine one of the Israeli jet pilots, one very right-wing ideology, that he's got tired of the Israeli politicians that sell Israel for nothing to the Arabs. And he say, you know what? I'm already 60 years old. I'm in reserve. What do I care? They'll put me in jail. They'll kill me. What do I care? Let me blow up the mosque. Once he's on a plane, he go up in training. He shoot 3-4 missiles on the Al-Aqsa on Friday when there's 5,000 Muslims there, blow them all up, the whole world goes on fire, and he commits suicide. He goes with his plane over there and blow the mosque, and the world is finished. 2 billion fanatic crazy, they go crazy, they run on the street, the whole world will go on fire. Not only Israel will go on fire, they'll burn the entire Europe, they'll burn everywhere, Jersey City, America, riots. You know what's going to happen. One person can destroy the world. Which means if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants the world to be destroyed, it will be a lot easier than what we think. You don't need tsunamis, you don't need nuclear weapon, you don't need. You need one lunatic, that's it. And he's messing up the whole world. So he says here over here, Hashem is staring at everyone with his eyes. Yivchanu afav yivchanu bnei adam. His eyes are testing the people, their actions. Hashem tzaddik yivchan. Hashem is testing the righteous people as well. Ve'rasha ve'oev chamas san'a nafsho. And a wicked person and someone who loves to steal, Hashem hate. Did I read it clearly? Someone that is wicked and he loves stealing, Hashem hates him. Next time someone comes and tell you, God loves everyone, God's merciful, all these things, tell them, excuse me, Tehilim, in hundreds places here you can show them the same thing. But right now, just remember now, Tehilim chapter 11, verse 5. 11:5, that's all. Verse 5, Hashem testing the righteous people and the wicked people and the ones who love stealing, he hates. So the thieves, all of you that steals in a business and steal from the government and steal from your friends and steal from your partner and steal from your parents, all of you, you should know now, clearly, no doubt, Hashem hates you. Don't think what the guy that came to put tefillin by you, say, you tzaddik, Hashem loves you, you're a Jew, you're an angel. Of course, Hashem loves his children, don't get me wrong. But as the children rebel against him and don't listen to him, at least for now, temporarily, it says clearly, san'a nafsho, Hashem hates what they do. But it's very interesting because today you have the Hamas inside Israel. Hamas, the Palestinian. This was written 3,000 years ago. Do you know how many Israelis love the Hamas? Can you believe such thing? An organization who all they think about is to kill all Jewish children and take away the country and basically murder everyone. There are Israelis who actually, for them, they love them more than they love Israel. Or I should really say it in a different way. They hate Hamas less than they hate Israel. If you tell them, who do you hate more? The religious people who pray and they try to be righteous, or these murderers, who do you hate more? They tell you, we hate the religious Jews more. And he's Jewish, supposedly, Erev Rav. So it's very interesting. He says Hashem hates the wicked people. Ve'ohev Hamas san'a nafsho. All the liberals, all the lefties who love the Hamas, san'a nafsho. Hashem hates them. Literally what it means, Hamas means stealing, lachmos. But it's very interesting that the Arabs, from all the names in the world, they chose themselves the name Hamas, which means thieves. Why they call themselves? They didn't know. Obviously, it's an accident. They wouldn't call themselves Hamas, which means in Hebrew, thieves. Why? They're stealing our country, and they said that we stole their country. Do you understand what's going on here? So no wonder why their name is Hamas. Yamter al reshaim pachim esh vegofrit. There will be time that Hashem will rain on the wicked people, burning fire and gofrit. Gofrit, salt fire. That's the red that you have on matches on the top. That's material. That's what it means. Veruach zilafot menat kosam, and storms will be what they're going to get, like big hurricanes, and you know how sometimes you see in America, South Carolina, houses flies in the air, thousands of people stay with nothing in less than 5 seconds. Or in San Francisco, an earthquake, bridges are falling, buildings collapsing. 30 years now to fix. In Japan, you saw what happened in Japan until today, they're fixing. By the time they're finished fixing, they probably have another one. Because this is what in Iran, you know how many earthquakes they have all the time? One earthquake, 70,000 deaths. Another one, 10,000 deaths. So he writes here in Tehilim, he says, what are they going to get from God, all these wicked people? Rain of fire and big storms. Ki tzaddik Hashem. That's the sign that Hashem is righteous. Since when someone who blow up a city with fire and make hurricanes for everyone to left with nothing is righteous? The answer, when they deserve it, is righteous. If they don't deserve it, is wicked, right? If innocent person get punishment by the judge, it makes the judge a fair judge or no? No. But if he deserve it, it makes the judge great. If the judge takes Saddam Hussein and say hang him, many people are saying, it's not humanic to hang a person. But someone who killed thousands and gassed the Kurdish and killed them with gas and did all kinds of other horrible things that even a monster could not do, what kind of judge would not say to hang him? Only a liar, only a total fool. Every normal person would say, well, for one murder, the Torah says, for one murder, execution to the murderer. What about if he killed 10,000? If you could execute him 10,000 times, you would do it. That's what Hashem will do in the afterlife. But what right now, if a person murder, in Texas, they execute him. There are many liberals who scream against it. I don't get it. He went into a place, robbed the place, killed the people for nothing, destroyed the life of 10, 7, 8 people, killed cops who gives their life to protect the community, and now you have mercy on the murderer? How can you have mercy on a murderer? How? I'm not talking two friends have a fight in a bar for some stupid argument and he went out of control and accidentally killed him. That's not a planned murder. That's an accidental death. I'm sure that now, an hour later, he's killing himself for what he have done. I'm not talking about this kind of people. We're talking someone who actually planned the whole thing and he wants to go and gas people or kill them and he doesn't care, women, children, someone like that, you have mercy on him. So it says over here, the sign that Hashem is righteous, not that he forgive the wicked people. That's not a sign of righteousness. The sign that is righteous, ki tzaddik Hashem tzedakot haev. Hashem loves justice. Yashar yechezu fanemo. Hashem is sticking always to the justice, to the right way. And the honest people are always preferred in his eyes than the wicked people. So I repeat the last sentence. All these storms and hurricanes and fire that falls from heaven, as history already showed us hundreds of times, why does it happen to the wicked people? Because ki tzaddik Hashem, because Hashem is righteous. Not to all these yefeh nefesh liberals who always twist the truth based on their humanic feelings. To be humanic means to have mercy on the righteous, on the miserable, on the innocent. To have mercy on a murderer, on a crook, on someone who makes other people miserable makes you almost as bad as him. Not as bad, but almost as bad. By you, for instance, I would respect a criminal lawyer that when Adolf Eichmann come to him and ask him to protect him, he would say, I don't want to protect you. I don't want to protect you. Offer me $1 billion. I don't want to protect a monster like you. I'm wishing for your destruction. How can I protect you? But who protected John the Maniac, the Ukraine Nazi that killed maybe 100,000 Jews? Who protected him? An Israeli lawyer, low-life garbage. For money, he protected people, and in the end, he got him out. You understand what's going on? After he had death sentence against him, in the appeal, he got him out. So now, what's going to be the punishment of this lawyer when he comes in front of Hashem? He got $1 million, let's say, whatever the fees was. This $1 million, it's the biggest mistake he ever made. In America, they found a way. They say lawyer, client, they have a word for it. What's the name of it? There's a law that the lawyer doesn't have to tell the judge what the criminal told him. Confidentiality, there's another word for that. Lawyer, client, there's an expression for that. One way or the other, if a lawyer is protecting someone that is being accused of being a murderer or a rapist, and in the middle of the conversation he told him I did it, the lawyer doesn't have to come and tell the people he's a real murderer, put him in the electric chair. Why? Because then no one would trust the lawyer. If you go to your lawyer and tell him, and I'm saying to myself, what do I care, trust or don't trust? As long as you didn't tell your lawyer that you did it, fine. He's not Eliyahu Hanavi. How should he know? So he has the obligation to protect you. As long as you say you're innocent, everyone has to judge you as you're innocent until found guilty. But in the moment that you tell your lawyer that you're the murderer, the law should be that he must run and tell on you. What is this nonsense? He's going to continue to protect you knowing you're going to go back on the street and kill another 10? What kind of Sodom laws is this? I know that he's a murderer. I know he raped the girls. And I'm going to continue to fight for him and get him free because I'm going to get $1 million for it? Who invented these stupid laws? Who? The Torah didn't say that. The Torah said the witnesses that know about you, they must testify. They cannot say, oh, I didn't see. And they are the one who execute you. Their hands will be first one in the execution. Why? To prevent liars from making false allegation. When you know you also have to execute the person who you tell a lie about, you would think 1,000,000 times before. If you just tell a story about him, let the police arrest him, and then they execute him in the electric chair, you're not there, you don't feel it. But when you have to take a rock and throw it in his head and you know he's innocent, it's much harder. It's one thing to lie, but it's a much higher level than to become a murderer. So if you cause someone to die indirectly, you don't feel as bad. Yes, if you have a conscience, you feel a little bit bad. But to actually kill him, it's very difficult. Sometimes the hand would freeze or will begin to shake. Why? Because there's one thing is to tell a lie and get rid of your enemy, but when you have to do it, that's why a lot of people, when they want to kill someone, they don't go to kill him himself, even they have an opportunity. Even this person is sleeping in front of him, he can choke him right now and kill him. He's going to hire a murderer to do it. Why? Well, you can do it yourself now. No one is there. Well, 30 seconds, he's dead. Why is it? Because they think by hiring someone that he will kill, he's the murderer, not me. Which technically, according to the Torah, if someone hired a murderer to kill someone, and they both got caught, the murderer told about him, who gets the execution? One of them or both of them? The one who actually killed. The one that hired him was also a very big criminal, of course. But the one that actually killed is the one who gets executed. Now let's move on. We're going to chapter 12 now because time is running out. We'll finish chapter 12 and that's it for today. למנצח על השמינית מזמור לדוד. What does it mean למנצח על השמינית? שמינית means the eighth. 8. שבע, it's 7. 8, it's 8. שמינית means the eighth. The eighth. What is it? Menatzeach, I already told you. The one is in charge of the band, of the orchestra, of the choir. the conductor, the songwriter. It's all the above. It's called המנצח, which means he's the captain of the music orchestra. על השמינית. What does it mean, על השמינית? שמינית means an instrument that have 8 strings. They call it שמינית. It have 8 strings. What do you call it in English? This big thing that they stand? Harp. Thank you. In Hebrew, it's called nevel. Nevel. לדוד, which obviously is David המלך. הושיע השם, save God, כי גמר חסיד, כי פסו אמונים מבני אדם. It says, save God, or save me God, כי קלה ונאסף המתנהג בחסידות. Because there's no more Hasidim in the world. I guess he never went in Borough Park. He would see 50,000 Hasidim there. He would maybe change the song. The answer is, let's be serious. Hasid doesn't mean someone who dresses in a certain way or eats certain food or speaks in a certain language. That's not what it means. Today we call it Hasid, Litvish, Faradi, because we want to tell the difference between one group to another. Hasid in the language of the Torah means above righteous. Righteous is very good. We dream to be righteous, all of us, I hope at least. We dream to be righteous. However, there is a level which is above righteous, means Hasidut, extra righteous. You don't someone gave you money to take to Israel to give it to someone, and you got robbed. While you were sleeping in a plane, someone put his hand in your jacket and stole the $10,000 bunch. You come now to Israel, it's out of your jacket. You didn't take off the jacket and left it and went to the bathroom. You did not neglect it. You kept the money just like you keep your own money. And someone, the professional, somehow he got it out of you. So you're not guilty. What's the law of the Torah? You have to swear that you did not neglect in your keeping and you did not leave it, which means you did not do anything that caused that money to be stolen, and you're dismissed. So now, if you are dismissed, the judge says, you don't have to. All you have to do, come swear. You say, no, I'm not guilty, but I don't want my friend to have in his heart against me. I'll pay it from my own money. Take and you give. That's called Hasid. If he wouldn't give, is he a criminal? No. Is he a sinner? No. Is he a thief? No. He did someone a favor. That's what happened. What do you want from me? I have to lose because I wanted to do a favor to you? So therefore, 99% of the people would say, excuse me, buddy, I'm very sorry, I meant well. And his friend would understand. What can he do? He'll be upset. But he said, what can I do? No? I trusted him. I'm paying the price. However, there are people, and the Gemara is giving examples in Baba Metzia of people like that. נשבע, it's פרק שלישי in Baba Metzia, המפקיד. נשבע ואינו רוצה לשלם. Swear and doesn't want to pay, that's one option. Pay and doesn't want to swear, it's like midat chasidut. Here, take, I don't want to say the name of Hashem in Bedin, I rather pay the money, that's called midat chasidut. They tell you, you're allowed to eat this food, it's kosher. But according to very strict kashrut, is not 100%. Everyone says it's kosher, everyone who check this factory, they tell you it's fine. One person is afraid that maybe something is not 100%, you right away stuck to his opinion. But everybody else told you, we check, everything is fine, according to Torah, you can eat. But he wants to be extra righteous. That's called midat chasidut. You can pray at 7 a.m., it's too late for him. He wants to be in a shul 5 or 6, whatever it is. He wants to be the first minyan. Everything by him is the best of the best. That's called Hasidim. So David HaMelech, 3,000 years ago, he writes, save me Hashem, ki gamar Hasid. There's no more people who behave according to midat Hasidut anymore. Ki fasu emunim mibnei adam. Because honest and decent people are gone from the world. Imagine if he lived today. Imagine if he lived today. I would give anything to bring him back to life for 1 or 2 days, to make him watch the news, 2-3 hours to see what's going on in the world, pull his hair off. 3,000 years ago, people would be 1,000,000 times more honest than today. You know, I remember when I was a kid, my father was a diamond maker. He makes diamonds. So one time he took me to the factory, and I saw 2 big diamond dealers, the boss, exchanging merchandise that worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Lots of diamonds, 2 carats, 3 carats, 2 carats, 5 carats. In envelopes. They write. There's no computer back then. They write on a little notebook, how much I gave you, 185,000, whatever. Mazal u'bracha. No contracts, no witnesses, no lawyers, no cameras, no third party, escrow account, none of this. They shook hands like this. He took the merchandise. We'll sell it, you get your money. Goodbye. So I asked my father as a little kid, wow, that's how they give money? Like this, they give him all the diamond, he trusts him? He said, yes, in this business, it's all with a handshake in a diamond district. The question is, 40 years later, can they say the same thing? I'm not so sure. I heard many cases that people took the diamond and escaped. But back then, and I'm not talking religious people here, some were religious. This transaction that I witnessed were 2 not religious people. 2 mechalelei Shabbat. Exchange diamonds with handshake. Mazal u'bracha, that's the key word. Mazal and bracha, and blessing, shake their hands, goodbye. Everyone pays everyone. Word is a word. So now go back, if there was 40 years ago by the secular, what was it 3,000 years ago by the righteous, ultra-Orthodox people? And David HaMelech say, no more Hasidim, they're gone. So today, even the most honest person in his eyes would be Chas v'Shalom, not 100%. So he writes like this, Shav yedabru ish et re'ehu. People speak to each other lies. Sfat halakot, slicky language, smooth talker. Not exactly a lie, but misleading him. Leads him to believe something else. You know, I give you an example. The Gemara brings a story that the rabbi told his student, let's take a walk. Let's go breathe some fresh air. And one of the guys from the yeshiva was walking towards the yeshiva. He just arrived from a boat or something from far away. As he walked towards the yeshiva, he saw the rabbi and some of the students are walking towards him. So he came to the rabbi and he said to him, Rabbi, you didn't have to bother to welcome me and coming all out to welcome me. It's okay, you can wait inside. So the rabbi said to him, we didn't come for you. We're just taking a walk. But today, if a person will tell you, oh, you didn't have to bother to welcome me, say, why? Why not? Why? I like you, why not? Come inside. He didn't come for you. But if he thought so, what does it hurt me to make him think that I did him a favor? Or someone think that thanks to you he got the job, when in reality someone else pulled the strings. You also wanted to help, but you were not successful. But when he finally got the job, he comes to you and says, listen, I really appreciate it. Thanks to you, I got the job. And you know it's not thanks to you. How many people would say, no, don't make a mistake. You don't owe me anything. It wasn't thanks to me. I wanted you to get the job, but I was unable to help you. Which means, if you would not say anything, he thinks that he got the job from you. Is this considered lying or no? Or you're just misleading him by not saying anything. So sometimes you can lie without saying a word, even with faces. Like someone said to you, oh, I really appreciate your help. You go like this. You don't say anything. Wow. Or the other way around. He asks you about someone, you don't want to say Lashon Hara. Say, I didn't say anything, Rabbi. I'm washing my mouth. This is worse than 1,000 words. Why? Because like this, it can be translated in 1,000 different ways. It can be, is great, but is not 100%. It can be, is Saddam Hussein. It's open for interpretation. You see, if he will tell him the truth, he would still marry this guy. Like a girl comes to ask you, what do you think about this guy, Moshe, whatever? So if you tell her, well, he has one problem, sometimes he's a little bit hot-tempered. Not a lot, once in a while. She say, you know what, no one is perfect. I take him with this problem. But if you say, well, I prefer not to comment. Now what's in her mind? Child molester, robbing banks, murderer. Anything now it's possible. What do you think? Some people on purpose, they go like this. I prefer not to talk about him. That's a dead sentence. Especially if it comes from a big chacham, that now you know that he has a lot to say, but his lashon hara, he doesn't want to talk. You understand? So he says like this, Shav yedabru ish et re'ehu, people would speak to each other false, sweet, kissing up language. Belev valev yedaberu, but their heart is incomplete. What's in their mouth, what's in their lips, what's in their heart is two opposites. Yachret Hashem kol siftei chalakot. Hashem will cut all these smooth talkers' lips. Meaning, whatever you do now, don't think you're going to get away with that. Yachret Hashem kol siftei chalakot, lashon medaberet gdolot, people who exaggerate, brag, speaking big. I will do and I will build. I'll send you the money. You can trust us. We never had a problem. A lot of high talking. In reality, they do nothing. If I would have 1% of the promises that people made me to help me to do kiruv in the last 20 years, we would have another 100,000 Baalei Tshuva today. 1% of the promises. Why? Promising. 2 minutes later, he doesn't even remember what he said. You know how many times it happens? I was just in LA now, 2 weeks ago in a seminar. One guy came, he was so inspired by the lecture. He said, I'm going to send a very big check. I'm going to send. Where is the information? I gave him the card. I said, it's all in the website. Oh, very good. Thank you very much. Nothing. I don't even write their numbers. What's the point? To call him, hey, excuse me, remember what you promised? I'm already experienced with that. For every 10 that promise, maybe one perform. Also another person say, we want to order 1,000 CD to give up. In the end, it was 280. That's better than nothing. Most people don't even do anything. They at least did a little bit. The Gemara say the righteous people talk very little and do a lot. The wicked people talk a lot and do nothing. They didn't say do a little bit. It should have been the opposite. Righteous talk little and do a lot. Wicked talks a lot and do little. That's not what the Gemara say. The Gemara say righteous speak very little. I'm going to try to help a little bit. And they give very much. And the wicked say and talk, and in the end, nothing. Nothing whatsoever. So it says like this. לשון מדברת גדולות, people speak high. אשר אמרו ללשוננו נגביר, שפתנו איתנו. They say, what's the problem? We can say whatever we want. לכן מי אדון לנו? Who is going to judge us? Fool him. All the crooks that promise all kinds of things, all the fools, all the crooks, I should say, all the crooks that promise and make all kinds of nedarim, vows, what's in their mind? Why they don't fulfill their promises? They don't believe in Hashem. Someone that believes in Hashem, he will dare to promise money to yeshiva or to a holy cause and not run to do it the next day, maximum the next day, sometimes within a minute. I've seen righteous people. They say, I want to help. Would you be here for 10 more minutes? I say, yeah, I'm talking to people. Let me run home and get the money. And they do it right on the spot. Why? Because they're righteous. They talk, they mean, and they do. And they know if I'm going to wait a week, I may forget. Let me do it right now. Why should I wait for tomorrow? That's the way of the righteous people. They do. And it says like this. Mi adon lanu? Who is God for us? Who is our master that to tell us what to do, what to say, what not to say? They say in Hebrew, the tongue doesn't have a bone. It's flexible and smooth. He can say whatever he wants. There's no bone. Mishod aniyim me'enkat evyonim. What does it mean? Stealing from the poor, enkat evyonim. When the miserable people, if somebody has only $1,000 left to his name, that's it, and I have nothing else. Say, wow, how will I survive now? 1 or 2 more times in the supermarket, I'm becoming homeless. If somebody come and steal his last $1,000, is it the same like stealing $1,000 from a regular person? Person that had, I don't know, $200,000 saving. You stole 1,000 from him. It's a big sin. Don't get me wrong. No permission whatsoever to do such a thing. But is it the same as you take the last $1,000 from a miserable poor person? Is it the same exact crime? Or over here the cruelty is 100 times more? Even some thieves have some conscience. They say, I'll never steal from a widow. I'll never steal from a woman that her son was Israeli soldier who died in a war and she has pictures. He broke into the apartment. There's hundreds of stories like this. They already broke into the apartment, and over there they saw like a picture of a soldier that died in a war, and they have a note over there from the Israeli Minister of Defense. They didn't steal anything. They gave respect. They went out. Or if they saw a Holocaust survivor, I don't steal from them. Or if I tell you a story, for that it was worth it for you to come. One time, a thief went into an apartment. No, there was one grandfather, every Thursday night he gathered all his grandchildren and he teach them the Parashat HaShavua, Thursday night, from 9 to 10, from 8 to 10, 2 hours, he teach them the whole parasha with Rashi. One time, his wife told him, postpone it to another day. Why? Because we didn't buy anything for Shabbat. Our house is empty. The house is empty. Tell the grandchildren to come another day, but you have to go to the market to buy me food. We don't have what to cook. The house is empty. He said to her, I don't care, empty, not empty, we'll eat bread only on Shabbat. Torah cannot be postponed. The next day, a robber broke in with a mask on his face. He broke in with a gun. Give me everything you have. So the grandfather said to him, what do we have? Look at we're so poor. Our house is empty. Open the fridge. We don't have what to eat. Tonight is Shabbat. We don't still have what to eat on Shabbat. Open the closet, see how everything is empty. Besides bread and some things, we have nothing to eat. You came to us to steal from us? Take whatever you see. Here, take. So the thief opened the closet, you see everything empty. He opened the fridge, you see everything empty. He took 300 shekels from his pocket. He said, Grandpa and Grandma, Shabbat Shalom. Here is, go buy yourself things from Shabbat. You ever heard such a story? He comes to Rabbi. He developed conscience. He gave the money for Shabbat. So the grandfather said to the grandmother, you see, if I would listen to your advice and cancel yesterday the shiur with all the grandchildren, the house would be packed with things. Would he believe us that we're so poor? He would go to the closet and check and find all the gold and find everything, all the cash. Why he didn't check? He saw everything is empty. Thanks to the shiur Torah, we got saved. Story that really happened. So let's finish this mizmor. He says that the poor people, when you take the last thing that they have, they mourn, they cry. Ata yakum yomar Hashem. Hashem says it's time to act. Time to act. Ashit beyesha yafiach lo. I'm going to save these poor people from these wicked people. Imarot Hashem, amarot teorot. The words of God are faithful promises. Kesef tzaruf ba'alil. like a silver, pure silver that was clean from all the dirt that was mixed with that. La'aretz mezukak shivatayim. Multiply it by 7. Not only it's pure in the highest process. People, I guess, who deal with silver would know what he's talking about. Ata Hashem tishmerem, you, God, will reserve them, will watch over them. Titzerenu min ador zu leolam. You will save us from such a generation for eternity. And again, I want to remind you for the third time, this was written 3,000 years ago. If he lived today, he couldn't believe that the world became what it became. I'm not talking wars and murders and all that. No. I'm talking honesty, integrity, money, clean hands, clean mouth. Word is a word. Promise is a promise. Handshake is a handshake. Today, how much we suffer because people are not honest. Just imagine the world if all people were unable to lie and to deceive and to steal and to charge something that it's not theirs. That's it. Nothing else changed in the world. Just change one bad habit that almost all people lie and they're crooks and they steal and they all kinds of things they do. Try to imagine how great life would be. Nobody would need security. Nobody would need safes. Nobody would need locks on their doors. No one would have to lock his car. No one would have to schlep things from the car into the house 50 times a month because they worry. No one would have to do all the suffering that we have. You can leave your cash over here. You can leave the things on the grass. You're not worried that people will steal your shovels and your children's bikes. All the suffering that we have, 90% of the suffering in the world will be immediately gone. If only every person would not have desire to be a thief. Imagine how great life would be. You won't need insurance. You won't need nothing. All these problems that we have, they're not, you approve, you're not approve. You want to get a job, nobody has to worry who we hire. Right away, here you can work with the diamond. Just came from the street, here is the diamond, here is here. You can work, no problem, you go home, you're not worried. He has the key, doesn't have the key. All these cameras, all of it, the world will be much amazing. Think about this. It would be heaven right here. Heaven right here. People would not be so anxious to get to heaven. So why do I need heaven? I have heaven right here. But now it's not heaven. It's far away from being heaven. And people destroy the world. Not like some people tell me, why Hashem made the world like this? No. You got it wrong. Hashem made the world pure. And he told people you should not steal. If they listen to him, everything will be perfect. People go against him. What, you could blame him? You blame the boss for warning you not to do something and you did it anyway, and now you blame the boss? Come on. It doesn't make sense. So it says, save us Hashem from such a generation. Saviv reshaim italachun. All wicked people around us, walking free. Kerum zulut livnei adam. With their ego and pride, they look down at all the other people. Who can touch us? Who can do anything to me? Anyone can touch me? You know, all these fancy schmancy people. You want to talk to them, they make you wait 3 hours on purpose. They're not doing anything. Because you're not in my level, you're going to wait 3 hours to talk to me. He's talking on the phone, nonsense, that. Pretending he's a busy guy. Finally, the guy comes in. I had a story, and we'll finish with that a guy came to my house collecting for his daughter's wedding in Israel. I gave him $20, and I said to him, come, have orange juice, eat something. Gave him some fruits, food. I cheered him up. I saw he's very depressed. He said to me, you see me? Look at me. I know how rich I was. I own a big company in Israel, office, secretaries in Tel Aviv, export, import, technology. He said to me, now I need to collect $5,000 to make my daughter the most simple, embarrassing wedding, the most simple, cheapest one, and I cannot collect. So he was happy. He revived me. He gave me energy. I said, what did I do? I gave you $20. It's a shame. He said, no, it's not the money. It's the support. I feel now I got my energy back. Okay, so we sit. We begin to tell me the story. So he said, one day I was about to sign a huge deal with the Koreans. Will make us not millionaire, multi-millionaires. One rabbi walked into my office. And the guy speaks to the secretary. He came to collect for his yeshiva or for himself. So she asked, this rabbi wants to see you here. He said, we're busy here in the meeting. Tell him to come in an hour. So she said to the rabbi, now the rabbi doesn't have a car. So he walked there. He came with bus. Where is he going to go for an hour? He's going to go all the way back and then come again. So he has to hang out around in the neighborhood. So he was there. He was downstairs for an hour. Exactly an hour, he got up. So this guy is telling me the story. So he said to me, as soon as the door was a little bit open, as soon as I saw his image coming again through the door, I got so angry. I said, what? He has to come exactly after 60 minutes? We tell you, come back in an hour. Be clever. Don't come exactly in an hour. Come in an hour and a half. What is this? I got angry. So I screamed at him. I said, come on, why are you pushing? I told you an hour, get the point. What do you keep? On a minute? And I embarrassed him and I sent him out. And he said we were already filling up the paperwork and signing with the lawyers. All of a sudden, the Korean guy said, I have to make a call. He went outside. He called Korea. They speak over there. He comes back. He said, we need extension a week or two to think about it. They speak between them Korean. Nobody knows what's going on now. He said the deal broke. But not the deal broke. Even without that deal, I was a wealthy man. Without it, I'm still wealthy. This was taking me to the next level. From that moment on, everything I touched, I lost. Everything, until that moment, everything I touched, I made tons of money. From that moment, I insulted that rabbi. This guy is crying in my house, telling me the story. Everything I touch, I lost. Things that I did hundreds of times before, making all the time money, only losing. Losing, I lost everything. Now I'm collecting $5,000 to marry my daughter. I cannot collect. That's called, we'll soon get to it in Tehilim, Mashpil Geim Adei Haaretz. So I told him, you know what, you're lucky. At least Hashem pays you in this world. What, He'll pay you in the next world, that's a lot worse. Now you suffer 10, 20 years, you don't know, maybe it will bring you right back up. You have to go through X amount of periods, test, suffering, and then the big thing can come to you. You know, the Reichman brothers, they're multi-billionaires. They gave a check to Rav Shach, $100 million, 30, 40 years ago, I don't know, when it was like 500 million today. One check to Rav Shach, Rosh Yeshivat Ponovich, $100 million. They own Olympia in New York, a tycoon real estate worldwide company, buildings, everything. They collapsed, they almost lost everything. And after a few bad years, they went right back up even higher than before. You understand? Sometimes Hashem takes you down. Even Donald Trump, if you remember 15, 20 years ago, he was going down big time. Didn't know he's going to lose Taj Mahal. There was a lot of pressure. He made it, and all of a sudden he built all this building in Manhattan on a website and became 100 times than before. The richest Jew in the world, Sheldon Adelson, one day stock went from over $100 to $4, Las Vegas cent. Basically all his money he lost. With the little money that he had left, he gambled. He bought the stocks for very low of his own company. With his own personal money, he saved his company, and the stock went back up, and now it's worth $40 billion. There are hundreds of stories like this, that tycoons, Hashem brought them almost to zero. And after that, he brought them right back. Money comes, money goes. What's important is what are we going to take with us to Olam Haba. We'll see you next Wednesday. Shavua Tov.